Hey everyone, it's Michelle.
And Brandy.
And this is Spooky Shit. So this week we are talking about possessions. I'm going to be starting out talking about the Ammons family.
And then I'm going to talk about I'm so sorry. Maricica Irina Cornici.
I was so excited to hear you say the name because I saw it online and I was like, I don't know about that.
Yep, it's hard to pronounce.
It is.
She's Romanian.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, I don't know Romanian pronunciations personally.
Warning. This episode may contain graphic details. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay. So this week I am going to be talking about the Ammons family, and their story is a little bit about possession, but also a little bit about a haunting. Ooh, 2 for 1. In November of 2011, LaToya Ammons moved into a rental home in Gary, Indiana with her family. This included her mom Rosa and her 3 kids, a 12-year-old daughter and 2 sons aged 7 and 9. Because they are children, no one actually knows their names.
Per usual.
So, yeah. The house has a main floor with hardwood floors that included 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a small kitchen, and a set of stairs that led down to a concrete floored basement. Within days of moving in, something unusual began to happen. Despite it being in the middle of winter and obviously super cold, big black flies began to swarm the home's screened-in porch. Rosa said that they killed them over and over, but no matter how many times they did, they kept showing up again. Pretty nasty. After midnight, LaToya and Rosa both began starting to hear what sounded like footsteps walking up the basement stairs and the door connecting the basement and kitchen door creaking open. Of course, they looked and checked it out, but they would find nothing, so they just locked the door. But even after locking it, this noise continued. One night, Rosa woke up and witnessed the shadowy figure of a man pacing in the living room. She jumped out of bed, terrified, and while the figure was gone, she found a large, wet boot print on the floor. I think her doorway, her bedroom doorway, kind of led to the living room, so she had a view of it. Around 2 a.m. on March 10th, 2012, about 4 months after moving in, the family was awake and had a group of friends over. They weren't usually up this late, but they were mourning the death of a loved one who had recently passed away. Rosa was startled when LaToya began to yell for her from Rosa's room. She ran into the room where the 12-year-old daughter was staying with her friend and was shocked to see that she was levitating unconscious above her bed.
What the fuck?
I know. They began to pray along with their friends until the girl finally descended back onto the bed and woke up, but she had no recollection of what happened. The family was confused and scared, and according to them, none of the people that were there that night would go back to visit them again at the house. And honestly, I would not either. I'd be like, sorry, we're not friends anymore. LaToya and Rosa began to reach out to local churches looking for help, but most of them wouldn't listen. Finally, one church spoke with them and told them that it seemed like there were spirits in their homes and that they would recommend cleaning the entire house with bleach and ammonia and then using oil to draw crosses on every door and window. They also suggested that they pour olive oil on the 3 children's hands and feet and smear oil on their foreheads in the shape of crosses for protection. Unfortunately, this did not stop the activity. A bunch of oil did not stop it. I've never actually heard of that, using olive oil to protect from spirits.
I've heard of salt, but not.
I heard of salt from Supernatural, right?
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, olive oil, and I was like, I don't really know what that would do.
Make it too slippery?
Yeah, the ghosts are slipping and sliding all over the place. They're like, this is not worth it. As well as churches, LaToya and Rosa also reached out to 2 clairvoyants. They came to visit the home and determined that it held over 200 demons in it.
What the
This actually made more sense to them because they were pretty religious and demons added up more with their Christian faith than ghosts did. The clairvoyant said the best thing the family could do was move, but unfortunately they did not have enough money to move at the time, so they were kind of just stuck in this demon house. They also suggested that LaToya make an altar in the basement, and this at least she was able to do. So she covered a white end table with a white sheet and placed a statue of the Virgin Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, along with a white candle and incense burner to make the altar. She had also poured salt along the walls in an attempt to dissuade the demons. So there is a little bit of salt in here, and that kind of made me happy. I was like, oh, Supernatural got one thing right at least. Her and another friend wore white t-shirts and had white scarves wrapped around their heads while, per the clairvoyant's advice, they burned sage and sulfur throughout the home and recited Psalms 91 from the Bible. They started upstairs and made their way down to the basement, drawing crosses with the smoke. By the time they were done, the basement was filled with smoke so thick that they could hardly breathe. Amazingly, this seemed to work and the supernatural instances stopped, but just for 3 days before it got worse. Also, that smoke thing seems kind of dangerous for the clairvoyants to suggest. If they could barely breathe, I'm like, I don't know, you guys. Seems like you could have died.
Yeah.
Or at least mess with your lungs.
Or like, have you seen? No, never mind. That's a spoiler.
Spoiler to what?
To a show.
What show is it called?
This Is Us.
Oh, I've seen This Is Us. Oh, yeah. If you've seen This Is Us, you'll know what we're talking about. We don't need to say it. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of it like that. That could have happened too. Anyone who didn't watch This Is Us, I'm sorry, because this is going to sound weird. Suddenly, it appeared that LaToya and the children were possessed. According to Rosa, she wasn't affected because she was born with protection from evil, but the article didn't specify why, so I don't know what made her so lucky.
It was probably her Christian faith.
Yeah, but I think her daughter and grandchildren were Christian too, and she's like, not enough. Every time the children were possessed, their eyes would bulge, their voices deepen, and an evil-looking smile would cross their faces. Oh, gross. I think it's like straight nightmare fuel imagining kids like that. LaToya herself actually spoke publicly about being possessed, and she said she'd feel weak, lightheaded, and warm. Her body would shake, and she'd feel out of control. She said, you can tell it's different, something supernatural. And I've kind of felt like similar to that when I'm feeling anxious or I haven't eaten a really long time. So doing that plus having a demon inside of you maybe sounds awful. One time LaToya was looking for her younger son and found him in a closet talking to himself. Except he said that there was another little boy in there with him that she couldn't see. She asked what they were talking about, and he responded that the unseen boy was telling him what it felt like to be killed.
What the fuck?
Big, what the fuck. Another time, the same boy somehow flew out of the bathroom as if he'd been thrown, though no one else had been in there with him. The 12-year-old had an incident where a headboard smacked her so hard in the head that she actually had to get stitches. She also reported seeing shadowy figures and twice going into trances. Later on, the little girl told mental health experts that while in the home, she would sometimes feel like she was being choked and that she'd hear a voice telling her she'd never see her family again and she wasn't going to live another 20 minutes. Super stressful stuff for anyone, but especially a 12-year-old.
Yeah, definitely.
So stuff would move around and doors would slam on their own. One of the boys said that they thought there were thousands of ghosts in the home and that while he could see them, they wouldn't speak to him. A religious statue seemed to have broken on its own. LaToya believed that there were multiple demons and evil spirits in the home from people who had died before. She would take the children to various temples and churches to try and remove the demons, but nothing worked. So this all really came to a head on April 19th, 2012. LaToya had called the family doctor for help, and when he came to visit the home, he didn't experience anything paranormal, but he did note that all of their behavior was delusional, even writing in his notes that they were having hallucinations. At one point during his visit, one of the boys began to curse at him in what they described as a demonic voice, before suddenly being lifted and thrown into the wall by an unseen force. Suddenly, both boys passed out and they wouldn't wake up. Because of this, police and ambulances were called and the boys were taken to the hospital. LaToya wanted to anoint the boys in olive oil, but when she told this to medical staff, they just laughed at her. So instead, she just prayed. When they awoke, the older boy was acting pretty normal, while the younger boy was screaming and thrashing around so violently that he had to be held down by 5 adults. While still at the hospital, the family was visited by DCS, Department of Child Services. An anonymous caller had contacted them, fearing possible child abuse or neglect. Upon examination, the children in LaToya were all found to be healthy and free of any marks or bruises. But when the case manager met the younger boy, she said that he began to growl and bare his teeth at her before his eyes began to roll into the back of his head. He suddenly lunged at his older brother while growling, "It's time to die and I will kill you." Remember, this is like a 7-year-old, so extra fucking creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, creepy anyways, but a little kid doing this is terrifying. If my niece did this, I'd be like, no. Adults had to intervene to get him to loosen his grip, and when he did, the 9-year-old then began to start headbutting his grandma. She grabbed his hand and started to pray when he began to walk backwards up a wall onto the ceiling before flipping and landing on his feet.
What the fuck?
All with a weird grin on his face. And this sounds like ridiculous, obviously, but it was supposedly seen by the DCS case manager and a nurse at the hospital. The nurse said, quote, "He walked up the wall, flipped over her, and stood there. There's no way he could have done that," and described him as gliding. I thought that was crazy, because, usually it's just the family who sees shit.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm. The nurse was obviously so freaked out that they ran out of the examination room along with the DCS case manager. They went and told a doctor, who asked the boy to do it again, but the nurse said they doubted he could, as this kid was not himself when he did that. The boy himself couldn't even remember it happening, and though he tried to do it, he was not able to. The nurse, who is a believer in the paranormal, thought that the boy's actions were the result of a mental illness, but that it had some demonic spirit to it. According to one article I read, the DCS manager said she believed there could be an evil influence affecting the family. That night, the youngest stayed at the hospital with LaToya while Rosa took the rest of her family to a relative's house. They all headed back the next morning, which happened to be the little boy's 8th birthday. So they celebrated by singing and eating a mini cake. They were then told by DCS that the children would not be going home before they took them into custody. They believe that the children were basically putting on an act for their mom. They didn't even get a court order because they thought this was like an emergency step and that, quote, all of the children were experiencing spiritual and emotional distress. Which I thought was kind of interesting because the DCS case manager said, like, yeah, I saw that happen, but also when you take them. I mean, I guess if there was demons, she'd need to take them too, huh?
Yeah, because it's not safe.
I know. You wouldn't even keep them in the demonic home. This was really hard on the family. The children, of course, didn't want to be separated from their mom, so they were crying, and LaToya recalls it in this quote, "We'd already been through so much and fought so hard for our lives. It was obvious we were a team and we were beating it, whatever we were fighting. We made it through together as a team and they separated us." Several psychological experts spoke to the children and concluded that they were, quote, acting deceptively and in accordance with their mother's beliefs. One even wrote that the younger boy would act possessed whenever he was challenged or asked questions he didn't want to answer. One psychologist noted that he seemed coherent and logical except when he would talk about the demons and did not believe that he was suffering from any psychotic disorders. Of course, people were concerned that LaToya was suffering from a mental illness and in a way had been like projecting that and her fears onto the children, but she was evaluated and was found to be of sound mind. Apparently, the day after they were taken in DCS custody, the chaplain from the hospital had reached out to a Reverend Michael Maginot. I like how to pronounce it, and I still hesitated. But anyway, this chaplain asked him to perform an exorcism on the 9-year-old, and while he didn't agree to this, he did agree to go and interview LaToya and the mom in the haunted home. LaToya and her mom in the haunted home. He, of course, wanted to make sure that there were no natural reasons why all this could be happening before he would agree to an exorcism. Over the course of this meeting, he was told of all the activity that the family had experienced. LaToya even pointed out in the middle of it that a light was flickering in the bathroom, which isn't obviously unusual in itself, but every time the priest would walk up to investigate, the flickering would suddenly stop. He believed this was caused by demonic presence, and it stopped because it was scared of him, since, I don't know, he's a big god dude, whatever. That was a great thing to call him. Oh, yay. The interview was interrupted again by Rosa pointing out that the blinds in the kitchen were swinging, despite there being no air current. At another point, LaToya began to complain about having a headache. The priest, being a priest, of course, was like, "Hey, let me press this crucifix against your head and let's see what happens." It did not help her, and it actually made her begin to convulse.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, casual, you know. After 4 hours of interviewing them, he came to the conclusion that the family was indeed being tormented by demons, and he also believed that the home had ghosts in it as well. He blessed the house before leaving and told LaToya and Rosa to leave as it wasn't safe there. The two were temporarily able to go stay with a relative, but they had to go back to the house a week later for the DCS manager to come and check the condition of the home. The case manager brought a Lake County police officer to come along with her, and 2 others joined as well out of professional curiosity, one of these being a police captain named Charles Austin, who was an admitted believer in ghosts, but not demons. LaToya herself was too afraid at the time to go into the home, so instead Rosa took the group inside to show them around. When they reached the basement, Rosa explained to them that this is where they believed the demons were coming from. They noticed that directly underneath the stairs there was a dirt floor, like the concrete around it was jagged and appeared to be broken. LaToya's altar still seemed to be in place along with the salt. They noticed multiple other shrines and Bibles throughout the home. While interviewing Rosa, one of the officers' audio recorder began to malfunction, and the power light started flashing to signal that it was dying, which was weird since he had placed new batteries in it earlier that very same day. Mm-hmm.
Sketch.
Very. They were eventually able to get to work, but listening back later in the middle of the interview, they heard unfamiliar voice whisper, "Hey," directly into the recorder. I actually listened to it, and it was pretty creepy. I would play it for you, but I am ill-prepared. They, of course, took several pictures around the house, too, though when looking back, some of them were unusual. In one of the photos taken in the basement stairs, they could see a cloudy white figure in the corner, which was enlarged and looked like it could contain a human face. They also saw a green image that looked to be the figure of a woman. The captain took photos on his iPhone and said that he also had weird silhouettes in them. Unfortunately, I couldn't find these pictures. I'm going to look again, like, by the time this is posted, because I'd really like to put some on Instagram. Because these sound really creepy. A local paper published a photo of a creepy figure standing in a window of the reportedly empty home, which, according to the caption, was taken by the police. But, according to the police chief, this was not an official photo or taken by a police authority, so I don't know who exactly took this picture. Regardless, it actually really creeped me out. Like, I don't like looking at it, but I texted you a picture, Brandy, if you will go and look at it.
Okay.
And I will be uploading this to Instagram as well. Tell me when you see the ghost.
Fuck?
Mm-hmm. It creeped me out. I don't know.
That's creepy. It almost
Yeah.
looks like a mannequin.
It does kind of look like a mannequin. Can you imagine if they just put a mannequin up there?
They're just playing with our feelings.
Yeah. Dude, at my work before, whenever I worked at a clothing store, we like kind of pranked someone, I guess. We put a mannequin in the bathroom, kind of, so whenever they turn on the light, it would freak them out. And it worked. It did freak them out, but before they noticed it, it was just like hanging out in there, and every time that we'd go to the bathroom, I'd just be staying there, and it was so creepy. Like, just seeing a mannequin sitting there while you're going pee, I was like, I don't feel safe in here.
Yeah, that's super creepy.
Yeah, so yeah, it kind of came back at us in a way. I don't know the correct phrase, but I played myself basically.
Karma.
Yeah, karma. That shit was creepy. On his way home, the captain noticed that the radio in his police commission car was malfunctioning, going static before he heard a voice saying, "Who in there?" Which, we've all had that happen, right?
Yeah.
Just a possessed radio. His garage door also strangely went open, although the rest of his home had power. To top it all off, he reported that his own personal car began to act almost like it was possessed when the driver's seat began to move forward and backwards on its own. He took it to get checked out and was told that the motor in his seat was broken, and this could have caused him to get into a serious accident if it distracted him enough. So, with all this in mind and the weird things he knows from the home, he too started to believe in demons and thought that the family could be telling the truth. Also, another side story. Whenever I was a teenager, me and my friend were in my dad's truck, and I was driving, and I didn't know that cars automatically locked on their own, which is so stupid. And they locked on their own, and we were like, oh my god, it's a ghost. We were convinced. On May 10th, Latoya, Rosa, and the 3 police officers who had visited before went back to the home. This time, the 3 actually went after getting off work, so unpaid investigation. They were joined by the priest, 2 on-duty police officers, and their police dog. A different DCS case manager was also there. She said she had gone instead because the other case manager did not want to go back into the house. The dog was taken around the home but didn't show any interest in it. Everyone else headed down to the basement where the case manager noticed a strange liquid dripping, which she touched and said felt slippery and sticky between her fingers. I would not touch a strange liquid that I saw in a haunted basement, personally. But to each their own, really. Especially after knowing that your coworker was too scared to go back to the home. Why would you be like, let me touch some stuff in here? No. The priest wanted to search the dirt for a pentagram or any other cursed item to see if that would indicate demons being there. So a 4 by 3 foot hole was dug beneath the stairs. They found a pink press-on fingernail, a white pair of women's underwear, a political pin, a cooking pan lid, socks with the bottoms cut off below the ankles, candy wrappers, and a heavy metal object that looked like it could be like a weight for a curtain cord. No idea who buried these or why, but the priest blessed some salt and spread under the stairs and throughout the basement. I think the creepiest of those are the underwear, the fingernail, and socks with the bottoms cut off.
That's all pretty weird.
Yeah, it's all pretty weird. And I'm like, the weirdest one is, and then I list every single one of them. The candy wrapper is the only one that's really not that weird. The case manager was up in the living room when she suddenly started to experience pain in her pinky finger, which was tingling and looked to be turning white. She said it felt like it was broken. And this was the same hand that she touched the mysterious liquid with, by the way. Within 10 minutes, she was having a full-blown panic attack and felt like she couldn't breathe, so she left the house and went outside. She was soon joined by Latoya, who had begun to experience a headache and shoulder pain while being questioned by the priest inside. Once it was dark, the police captain also left the home, not wanting to be inside at nighttime. The other 2 officers continued to look around. They were in one bedroom when they noticed what looked like an oily substance dripping from the blinds, but they couldn't tell where it was coming from. It wasn't coming from like the top or the bottom or anything. It was just like the middle of the blinds. I saw a picture of it. So, unsure if it had been put there by the priest or Latoya, or maybe even Rosa, they cleaned it up and sealed the room for nearly an hour so nobody else could go in it. They actually put a Q-tip like in the door frame, I guess, so if anyone opened it, the Q-tip would fall. Something like that. Yeah, it was weird. When they went to go check on the blinds again, they saw that the liquid had reappeared. And again, they could not see like where it was coming from. So they looked around and even outside, but were not able to figure out where it's coming from. The priest believed that this was a manifestation of a paranormal demonic presence, and he then wrote to a bishop asking for permission to perform an exorcism on Latoya. The oil was truly the last straw.
Literally.
He was initially denied permission, so instead chose to do a minor exorcism, which I guess you don't need the church's approval for. And it was funny because they told him like, oh, go talk to some other priest and you could do a minor exorcism, like get the rights for that. And he went and the other priest told him to just look it up online. It's so weird how most possession stories are older, you know? So these ones are just like, just Google it. And I appreciate that. The priest first started by performing an intense blessing on the home to expel any dark spirits and then began a minor exorcism on Latoya. The ritual was attended by 2 police officers and the DCS case manager. It consisted of prayers, statements, and appeals to cast out the demons. The DCS case manager later said that while she didn't necessarily believe something demonic was going on, she did feel like there was something odd happening, saying she had gotten chills during the ritual and that it felt like someone was in the room with them breathing down their neck. So, if not demons, it sounds like she thought that they were ghosts. Because how are you going to be like, oh, I don't think anything was there, but I did feel someone breathing on my neck. But I don't know. It was just something weird. I guess that's like me whenever I wake up and feel like I hear somebody breathing or whatever. Yeah, I don't really think about it much more than that. I guess I get it. Weirdly enough, the case manager herself seemed to have a string of bad luck after attending the exorcism. Within 30 days, she got third-degree burns from a motorcycle, broke 3 ribs jet skiing, broke her hand when she hit a table, and broke an ankle while running in flip-flops. Her own friends didn't even want to talk to her because they feared that something attached to her, but she just joked with them saying, I'm already evil. They try to find something that's not evil and corrupt it. They wouldn't waste their time on me. I was like, oh, same. Also, it's kind of weird for a family services person to be like, I'm already evil.
Yeah, a little bit.
After this first exorcism, the priest told Latoya that she should look up the names of demons and basically just like make a list of all the entities and powers that she thought could be possessing her. Again, hilariously like modern way to do that. They're like, yeah, go Google some demons and tell me if you think that any of them are possessing you. So when looking it up with a friend, the computer kept suddenly shutting down and she would feel sick and lightheaded. But eventually they were able to find the names of the demons that she thought were terrorizing her family. Most notably was the demon Beelzebub, also known as the Lord of Flies, along with other demons that would hurt and torture children. And I think we've mentioned Beelzebub before in our exorcism episode. I think that all 3 of our people might have been possessed by him before.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Go listen to our, I think it's Exorcisms and Demon Hall review. There's a lot of demons in there. Before the next exorcism, the priest was able to finally get backing from the Catholic Church for a major exorcism, which apparently is the same exact ritual, but it's just more powerful because it has the support of the church. Just kind of lame and very anticlimactic, but whatever. 3 more exorcisms were performed on Latoya at the priest's church, 2 in English and the last one in Latin in June 2012. 2 of these were attended by police officers who had inspected the home, and they were there to restrain her if needed. During the first 2 major rituals, the priest would praise God and condemn the devil while pressing a crucifix against Latoya's head. Latoya attempted to pray with him until it became too painful. She said it felt as though something inside her was trying to hold on to her and inflict pain at the same time, and said that it wasn't a normal pain, but it was just as intense as giving birth. The priest continued to pray and condemn the demons louder and louder until the demons were weakened, and he said later he could tell how strong they were by how much Latoya was convulsing. So I don't know if that means she was like hella convulsing and he was like, they're getting weaker, or like whatever was happening does not really sound safe, honestly. Latoya herself later said, I was hurting all over from the inside out. I'm trying my best to be strong. Eventually, she fell asleep and the rituals ended. Between the second and third exorcisms, the priest went on a retreat and set up a backup plan with the woman who had helped in the exorcisms in case Latoya had any issues while he was gone. So I guess this woman wrote the name of a demon on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and surrounded it with blessed salt. The plan was that if Latoya had any problems, the woman would burn the envelope. Latoya, who by now had moved to Indianapolis with Rosa, called the priest while he was gone and told him that she was having nightmares. He then reached out to the woman who burned the envelope and saved the ashes to burn in a church bonfire. And weirdly enough, after that, Latoya's nightmares stopped.
That's the Jesus power.
Apparently, man. I have nightmares like every night. I should do something like that. Wow, I didn't mean that to sound as like depressing as it did. But I do. I have bad dreams a lot.
I do too.
You do? That makes me feel better. Yeah, I've heard that it could be because I'm on Prozac, the antidepressant, and I guess that some antidepressants actually give you vivid nightmares.
What's my excuse?
I know, I was gonna say, are you on Prozac?
No.
Maybe I'm contagious. Maybe it's my demon. It's latched onto you and it's giving us bad dreams, and that's the only side effect that we're getting. You never know.
I hope not.
Hopefully it's just the Prozac and I don't know what your excuse is. Maybe you're just tired.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Do you remember your nightmares too whenever you wake up?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I remember mine. Like, I don't usually remember later in the day, but whenever I first wake up, I usually remember them too.
Yeah, I mean, usually as soon as I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck?
That's how I am too.
All sweaty and shit.
Yeah, I don't really wake up sweaty.
But then towards the end of the day, I'm like, huh?
You're like, I had a dream?
Yeah, basically, I'm like, yeah, I don't remember shit.
I know as soon as I start looking at my phone, I forget. But I thought it was like normal to remember your dreams and have a lot of dreams. And Robert's the one who pointed out, like, no, that's really weird. And said that it was probably from my medication. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, yeah, it is. Because he would just come in and I'd be like describing for 5 minutes what I dreamt. And he's like, why do you always remember your dreams? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I always forget mine.
Okay. Whoops. Well, I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who has a lot of nightmares, at least. It kind of stresses me out sometimes whenever I'm going to sleep. I'm like, shit, I hope I don't have one tonight.
I just try not to think about it.
Yeah.
Then I feel like if I get in that mindset of like, oh my god, I'm probably gonna get one, I feel like I get one.
Yeah, even whenever I don't have nightmares, I feel like I at least have stressful dreams. Like last night I was kind of thinking about it and I ended up having a weird stress dream. I'm like, dang, can't I just be having fun in my dream for once?
Right?
Or just remember nothing. Just don't dream. That'd be nice too. But anyway, during the third and final exorcism on LaToya, the police officers were unable to make it, so instead it was on the priest and his brothers to stand guard over her. I'm not sure if this means like blood brothers or like Catholic brothers, you know, like they're like brother blah blah blah.
Maybe.
That's a good name, right? Brother blah blah blah.
Yep. Brother blah,
Okay.
blah, blah.
Yeah, super legit. This ritual was said in Latin rather than English, and while LaToya did convulse when the demons were being condemned, she did not convulse during prayers. And I guess this was a really good sign, because from here on out, they were like, hell yeah, LaToya is free, and she no longer lives with fear of demons inside of her. Super anticlimactic, right? They're like, she didn't convulse during prayers. We saved her.
Okay. She's scared.
She's scared. Meanwhile, DCS had petitioned for temporary wardship over the children, and this request was granted, as the children were frequently missing school, and this was considered to be LaToya's way of neglecting their education. It didn't help when they found out that a few years prior, there had actually been an official complaint filed against LaToya because the kids would frequently miss school. As for explaining the absences while they lived in the house, LaToya blamed it on the demonic activity. She said that the children would feel sick for no reason or were up all night due to the paranormal activity. She also told DCS that if the children weren't asleep by 11, the spirits would come out and keep them up all night throwing things, moving things in the home. But LaToya was allowed to see them and supervise visits at least. About 6 months after being taken into DCS custody, her children were returned to their mom. She said it was the happiest day of her life and that they were all screaming and jumping up and down. The family all lived demon-free, and LaToya said, when you hear something like this, don't assume it's not real, because I've lived it. I know it's real. She credits God for solving the demonic problem. But of course, there are skeptics. Charles Reed, the Ammons landlord, believes that the whole thing was a hoax. According to him, none of his other tenants ever had paranormal experiences in the home, including himself and the tenants after the Ammons.
Well, I mean, if it happened after, then obviously if they solved it, they wouldn't experience anything.
That's true. But also, I'll get to it. I just pulled a brandy on you. Also, the landlord said the Ammons had been behind on their lease payments, and he thinks he came up with this idea of a haunting as an excuse to avoid the payments. Which is actually kind of a hilarious excuse if that's what happened, you know? Being like, sorry, demons are haunting me. I can't really pay rent right now. I did read, though, that he was slightly less skeptical after finding out that the Catholic Church was involved. So he was like, oh wait, it wasn't just them saying it? Paranormal skeptic Joe Nickel interviewed many people involved in the case and came to the conclusion that there were other supernatural explanations for a lot of the so-called paranormal things occurring in the home. But if you're a paranormal skeptic, I don't expect you to say anything else. It's fine. He also doesn't think that Amityville was real at all either. He was talking about the flies in this one. He's like, that one sounds like Amityville, which we already proved was a hoax. And I was like, whoa, you already proved it's a hoax? Okay. I guess I just want to believe. Well, I don't want to believe in demons. I'm okay believing in ghosts, though. I don't know, now I'm having like a weird existential crisis about this. As for the house, it was purchased in 2014 by your boy, Zach Baggins from Ghost Hunters. Oh man. Sorry, I got a text right as you were saying that, but yeah, I want to keep your reaction. Zach Baggins bought the house for $35,000, which is really cheap for a house.
Yeah.
Indiana's dirt cheap, apparently. He went on to film a documentary in and about it named Demon House. In January 2016, he had the home demolished. The documentary was released in March of 2018, and one believer called it one of the single most compelling documentaries on the existence of the supernatural they've ever witnessed. Meanwhile, other reviewers naturally called it fake as shit. So it goes with like every other ghost story, honestly. But I actually watched the documentary. It's on Amazon Prime, and it creeped me out, actually, because whenever I was reading this, I too was like, I don't know if I think it's real or not. But actually, like, seeing the Ammons aren't actually even involved in the documentary. They didn't want to be. But he interviews like the DCS case manager who saw the little boy walking up the wall, and like the police officers who believe that it was something supernatural. And I was like, I don't know, this turned me into a believer now. And some shit obviously starts happening to him because he's Zach Baggins, and of course it would. But I would recommend watching it. It's pretty creepy. They put some creepy imagery in there too that definitely set the tone. But it was funny because at one part he was like, oh, it seems like everyone associated with this house has something bad happen to them. So I decided to board myself inside for the night and spend the night there. And I was like, why would you do this, Zach? Spoiler alert, didn't end well for him.
Oof.
Yep. But that is my story on the Ammons family. It was kind of a long one, actually. I thought it was going to be short. And then I found one article that I was like, this is the gold mine.
Yeah, same for me.
Really? Okay, good.
Because I was just on the like Wikipedia page, and then I found an article, and it was way more detailed, like had more information. I was like,
yes.
whoa.
That's exactly what happened to me. The Wikipedia was like dry as hell, and then it linked to another article that had everything, and I was like, this is sick.
Yeah. Alright. So let's talk about I already forgot how to pronounce it.
Yeah, let's talk about her.
Maricica Irina
Mar.
Cornici. I'm just gonna call her Irina, because that's like, I can't say her first name.
That's totally fine.
But yeah.
I'm gonna talk about her.
I'm gonna talk about her. / the Tanaku, I think that's how you say it. Tanaku exorcism.
Okay.
Irina was born in the village of Pereni, Western Moldavia, Romania in 1982.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she was a very tiny little village in Romania.
With the longest name.
Yeah. She had a brother that was 2 years older than her, but she ended up taking care of him because I guess he was kind of slow.
Okay. Like he had a disability.
Yeah, like a learning disability.
Okay, yeah.
His name was Vasil. I think that's how you pronounce it. Or
very
Vasil.
Romanian.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Vasil. I'm gonna say no. I think it's safe to say that she had a very rough life.
Oh no.
Yeah, her family didn't really have much, and her dad, Ion Cornici, was actually sentenced to prison for 4 years for stealing chickens.
For stealing chickens? That is too long. Oh my god. And he's probably to eat them.
Yeah, probably to feed the family.
Yeah, not just for fun, stealing chickens.
But yeah, instead of facing punishment, he killed himself.
Holy shit.
He hung himself in front of Irina when she was just 2 years old.
Oh my god, man, that is not the best option here.
No.
In front of your child, too?
Yep.
What year is this, you said?
She was born in 1982, so this was 1984, because she was just 2.
Wow. That is actually not even that long ago. I was like, was this like the 1600s?
No, it's not. And their mom wasn't any better. She was actually a violent alcoholic and didn't really try to care for her kids.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that resulted in them being taken away by social services and sent to an orphanage. God damn it.
An orphanage.
An orphanage in Borlad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, we're getting the gist of it.
But yeah, the orphanage was pretty shitty too.
No, why? These people cannot catch a break.
No. So Romanian orphanage God damn it. Orphan oranges.
Oranges.
Romanian orphanages in 1980s were known for being hellholes. Like,
Oh my
literally.
god. Wait, literally.
Like, bad.
Oh no.
They were overcrowded, filthy, and like dangerous. I don't know why dangerous. They didn't specify.
Maybe they like hurt the kids.
Yeah, I think just because there was a lot of kids, it probably didn't have enough staff type thing.
Yeah, that's sad.
Very. The children had very little food to eat, and bigger kids would often take the food of the smaller kids.
Oh my god, Brandy, that's so fucked up.
It is very fucked up. It was also common for the orphanage's workers to take the children's rations.
Oh my god, dude. These poor kids are getting nothing.
Yeah. I'm telling you, she had a really hard life, bro. Like, fuck.
That's sad.
Very. It only gets worse.
Of course.
Not only were they starving, but most were being physically and sexually abused.
Damn, that's what I was afraid of.
Yep. They were, like, abused by, like, workers, by older kids. Like, it was hell.
That's so sad.
Irina was taken advantage of, like, time and time again.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's just so sad. But there's, like, a few notable ones that they mentioned. The first was in the 1990s by a German photographer, Joachim Pfaff, who photographed young girls in erotic poses for child porn.
What the fuck? How did he get access to them?
That's the thing that they were saying, is like that he actually had like a, what do you call it?
Like a deal with him or something?
No, like he had like a record. Like he wasn't supposed to be working with kids, but they still let him.
Oh my god.
Like be alone with all the kids.
Learn how to do a fucking background check. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The second was in 1995 by a camp counselor, Mannix. Oh, he doesn't have a last name. It's just Mannix.
Oh, just Mannix.
She was just 14 years old. He was 20-something and had his own room, like, away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess every night he made a girl come to his place and force them to give him oral sex.
Oh my god, that's so fucking disturbing.
Yeah. I guess they ended up, I don't think I wrote it down, but they ended up, like, telling on him.
Good. And
he only went to jail for, like, a few years, and then he got out again.
Oh, gosh.
And got arrested again for, like, raping a 12-year-old girl.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Well, because that's, like, really...
Oh. That's so dark. Your stories, Brandy, I swear.
I'm sorry.
I'm about to put that warning on the front.
Yeah. But yeah, because of the abuse, she learned how to protect herself by learning karate.
Oh.
So she actually practiced a lot and fought with kids until someone started bleeding, and then they stopped.
Oh my god.
like real hard Fight Club.
Yeah, with little kids.
Yeah. Well, she was like a teenager at that point.
Okay, cool.
In her late teens, she came to the terms that she was attracted to women.
Thank you for choosing a gay.
Gay. But yeah, she actually explored a relationship with a girl named... I'm so sorry. Parashkiva Angel.
Okay. Very Romanian.
Yeah. I'm pronouncing it wrong too, so... But they nicknamed her Kitsa.
Oh. Sounds like kitten.
A little bit.
Is it for a cute reason, or is it like a fucked up reason?
It's a fucked up reason.
Oh, I feel bad now.
But yeah, being gay in Romania at the time was illegal, so they were like taking a risk being together.
Oh.
But Irina was pretty determined to like stay with her.
That's cute though.
At the age of 19, she was fostered by the Solojehuk family.
Oh yeah.
Romanian family. So who she basically worked for in exchange for a place to stay and food to eat.
Wow. Oh, dang.
But I think she got with this family because they actually like fostered her brother because he was 2 years older.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool that they got to go to the same family.
Yeah, they like took care of each other basically. They like
That's
stayed
cute.
together the whole time.
Cute in a sad way.
Yeah. And I read that she kept visiting her mom because like they couldn't live with her, but like they could visit her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't go to jail or nothing. Like they just couldn't live with her.
Okay.
And I read that she would go visit her and like, you know, just try to like be with her mom, and her mom would like just have like violent outbursts and basically like tell her to fuck off.
Oh my god.
Or especially if she went alone, she was like, "Why didn't you bring your brother?" type thing.
What the fuck, dude?
Because her son was her favorite.
It's like, why didn't you love us more, bitch?
Right? Oh, bitch. But yeah, after she saved some money, she moved to Germany, where she worked as a housekeeper and a babysitter, trying to save more money. Because her plan was to basically be able to take Pizza out of Romania with her to Germany, so they could start their own life there.
Yeah.
So yeah, in 2005, she returned to Romania, and along with her brother Vasil, they went to go look for Kitsa, because, you know, it was a small village, so... you know...
Not a lot of places for her to hide.
True. But, you know, there was, like, no phones or anything like that type thing.
Oh. Yeah. That makes more sense.
Well, that's why she, like, wanted to get out of Romania and go to Germany.
Okay.
Kitsa ended up joining a covenant in the Carpathian Mountains, where she was preparing to become a nun.
That sucks.
Yeah.
No offense to any nuns listening. But I was really rooting for the gays here.
But yeah, I guess it wasn't uncommon for like kids released from the orphanages to go to like monasteries or like to become nuns.
Because they were probably already hanging out there, right?
Maybe, or just like they literally have nowhere else to go. And you know, when you do go to church, like you always have a place to stay, you know, they feed you type
very
thing.
True.
So I guess it was pretty common for like orphan kids to go there and like become nuns and stuff like that.
Jeez.
But yeah, the Orthodox Covenant was located in the impoverished northeast of the country, uphill from the rural village of Tanaku.
Of course. Where else would it be?
But yeah, Tanaku is literally a town of just like 1,000 people, so it's tiny.
Damn. They all know each other, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. In charge of the monastery was a red-haired 29-year-old David. No, not David. God damn it, where the fuck did I get David? His name is Daniel.
Close enough.
Daniel Petru Corn. No.
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
But he was a hair monk.
Yeah.
He was a hair monk.
Oh, I don't know what that means. I was hoping it could help you out, but I was like, I don't know where you're going with this sentence.
I can't really pronounce it, but he was both a monk and a priest.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
Me either until I heard it.
Well, good for you, dude.
But yeah. So Irina and Vasil like found Kitsa, and Kitsa was actually super grateful and became super dedicated to the church, and she actually like invited Irina to like join. She was like, why don't you like come join with like become a nun with me, basically.
We could be secret lovers as nuns.
No, she actually told her that she was no longer interested in pursuing a relationship, but
I was gonna say she probably told her, I'm not gay anymore.
I mean, I don't know if she said that exactly, but she basically said like I don't want a relationship with you, but like I still care about you. I'm like loyal to you, you know. You were there for me type thing.
So she just wanted to like continue their friendship, basically.
Yeah, their friendship, but not anything else.
Unfortunate. For the gays listening, I'm like, oh.
But yeah, she actually convinced, or like tried her best to convince Irina. And Irina basically like thought about it and ended up deciding it was the best thing to do.
Whoa, she decided to do it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I am shocked.
So was Kitsa, but we'll get to
I was like, I'm good. I'll go back to Germany.
But yeah, I guess Kitsa thought that if she joined the Covenant, she could be with Kitsa forever, and she would be able to like keep her brother close by buying him like a little small place nearby where he could live and basically have him work odd jobs at the church, like if they needed.
Okay.
But yeah, this is where it gets a little weird. They had
Nothing's been weird so far.
Well, you're right. But Kitsa and Irina actually had like a really interesting relationship.
Okay.
It was, how do you say it? Sadomasochism?
Sadomasochism?
Yeah, that one.
S&M?
Yeah, that.
Oh.
Guess, yeah.
That's surprising for two nuns.
This was before, okay?
Okay.
But I guess Irina got off on hurting Kitsa, like literally kicking her, which is how she got her nickname Kitsa.
What the fuck?
Yep.
That is kind of concerning. She should have seen a therapist about that.
Yeah, she should have. But I mean, they both, like, she liked it.
Okay, she was into it. It wasn't like...
Yeah, she was into it. Like, she would...
Okay.
Be like, yeah, kick me, or like, you're the only
yeah, kick me
type shit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, as long as they're both consenting, what are the chances of you really liking kicking people and finding somebody that you're attracted to that likes being kicked? They just got lucky.
Yeah, literally.
That is
that's weird.
So strange. There's weirder fetishes, I guess.
True. But yeah, Kitsa was actually pretty surprised on how quickly Irina changed her mind about leaving to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was uncommon because once Irina had something in her head, like it was hard to change her mind.
That's how I am too.
So when she like suggested to her, she didn't think like she was actually gonna do it.
Yeah.
So when she did, she was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Did she actually want her to, or was she just like being nice?
No, she did want her to.
Okay.
But she was just kind of like, whoa.
She didn't think it would work.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But she says that right after she like agreed and stuff, and right after her whole Holy Communion, she just kind of did a 180 and started acting like super weird.
Okay.
This is a quote I found by her in an article. She said, "She took Holy Communion and she changed. I couldn't believe it. I thought that could not be Irina. I cried and said to her, Irina, you were not like this. You were always open. Tell me what's wrong with you. Tell me what you're thinking. Get out of here," she said. "I feel tempted." I said, "What kind of temptations do you feel, Irina?" She answered, "Well, I don't want to sin with you. I don't want to hurt you, to beat you anymore."
What? It doesn't even sound like... I don't know. To me, it doesn't even sound like she's acting like weird. It sounds like maybe she's experiencing guilt now that she was like becoming more religious.
I mean, possibly.
Or like didn't want to be tempted. I don't know. It
probably does sound a little weird too, because this is like the translation.
Oh yeah, of course. It's not like these were the exact words.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense too. I was like, they don't talk like it was like the 80s or 90s.
But yeah, not long after, Irina claimed to start hearing voices.
Oof. Okay, that's weird.
She was convinced that the devil was talking to her.
Holy shit. That was a real jump. Okay, you're right. She did start acting weird.
Yes.
I thought it was just the other one.
So on April 9th, 2005, not that long ago, Irina had a violent outburst, and the nuns and father managed to subdue her and drove her 25 minutes to the nearest hospital, where she ended up being diagnosed with disorganized schizophrenia,
Oh.
which is like super interesting.
And I was like, compared to the normal organized schizophrenia?
But yeah, I guess while in the hospital, while they were treating her, she was also diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh, fuck.
So she just had a shitty time. But
yeah.
After a couple of days on medication, she seemed to get better, and she was released two weeks later.
Okay, that's good.
After being released, she went back to her foster family. And she discovered that not only had they replaced her, but they also had robbed and wasted all like her money she had saved.
What? Why?
I don't know why.
That fucking sucks.
But her doctor he later said that he believed that's when like she hit her breaking point.
God, I can't believe she hadn't already, honestly.
But yeah, basically like once she found, well, because I guess her intention was to donate the money to the church.
Oh, that's sad.
So she returned to the church in Tanaku, where she continued her journey to becoming a nun. She basically did everything she needed to, like confess, do her penance, prayers, whatever, all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know the process.
All the nun stuff.
Yeah, all the nun stuff, but she was like officially cleared to take the Holy Communion, which was May 1st.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, I guess she like went back and was like continuing her journey, but she like stopped taking her medication for schizophrenia. And then also she never told anyone that she had leukemia.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
Very. But I mean, even though like she didn't say nothing, all the nuns like did notice that she didn't look well, like they knew something was off.
Yeah, they're like, girl, you're sick.
Yeah, like they were concerned for her, definitely. But yeah, with time went on, she heard whispers again and became violent, and she even set her room on fire where she slept.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She was like in the room when she did it?
Yeah.
Dude, that's not normal.
Yeah. And apparently she had like another violent outburst, and Father David actually kind of like put her in a headlock and like subdued her.
Holy shit.
And this is basically where he proclaimed that the devil was inside her and she needed to be exorcised.
Oh my god.
And I guess he's known for this pretty famous quote right here: "You can't take the devil out of people with pills."
Oh, okay. So he said, mental illness isn't real.
So they decided to do the exorcism, and it was Father Daniel and 3 nuns were there, but like there was another nun that was like involved indirectly, like she was the mother nun.
Okay.
But yeah, the 3 nuns were Adina Sepraga, Elena Otel, and Simona Bardanas.
So not her ex.
No, her ex wasn't part of it.
Okay.
But yeah, he basically had put her in a headlock to basically like get her under control.
It's like WWE SmackDown in this nunnery.
Literally. So like he had her in a headlock, and the other nuns basically like bound her hands and feet.
Holy! Oh, so he meant exorcism immediately. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, no, they had like tied her up, and then so they could do the exorcism. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
this is hardcore.
No, like they didn't start right that second.
Okay, I was like, Jesus. He was like,
you know what? To ask for permission and all that.
Okay. I was like, dang. He put her in a headlock and was like, we're exercising you, bitch. Grab her.
No, they basically just immobilize her so they can control her type thing.
Okay. But that makes much more sense.
Yeah, they had her tied up, and I guess she started making, quote, pornographic sounds. So I'm guessing she was moaning.
Yeah. You're like, oh god, she gets off on this, you guys. Why would you tie her up?
I don't know, but they ended up gagging her by putting a towel on her mouth.
Yeah, and Then they started kicking her and she was way too into it.
Stop.
As soon as he put her in the headlock, she was like, all right.
But yeah, they basically left her in there, while they got permission and everything, and got all their ducks in a row. But when they finally decided to start it, they ended up chaining her to a cross.
Oh my god.
Like an actual big cross, like Jesus, like how they crucified him.
Was she like up on it? Like chained up, like standing up, or?
No, she was laying down.
Okay. I mean, still kind of intense imagery, but I was not even like they chained her up standing against it. I was like, this is crazy.
No, but I mean, it's still crazy. Like,
no, it definitely still is.
Cross.
Oh my god. Just chaining up a person.
Stretched out too.
Okay, that's intense.
But yeah, they carried her into the church like that. And they basically dosed her body in like holy oil.
Hey, the oil again.
Yeah. And they deprived her of food and water and kept her tied up for 3 days.
Bro, when has that ever worked? How many people have died during exorcism because of shit like that?
Yeah, for real.
Ugh.
Eventually, after the exorcism was done, Father Daniel declared her cured.
Oh, well, thank God.
Yeah, and they untied her and got her to a room, and they gave her bread and tea to try to help her recuperate.
Yeah, it's the best post-exorcism meal.
But yeah, she ended up fainting after eating.
Oh.
And the nuns couldn't wake her, like find a pulse, so they called an ambulance.
No.
Yeah.
They fucking killed her?
Yeah.
She died?
Yeah.
Brandy. Bro, why? You're like, let's chain her up for 3 days, no food, no water. Okay, you're good now, right? No, she's not fucking good. She fucking died.
You gotta remember, too, she was suffering from leukemia.
Oh my god, she had so much other shit going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my god. That's depressing.
Yeah. While in the ambulance, they gave her 6 doses of adrenaline.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, by the time she reached the hospital, she was dead.
Fuck, man.
She died June 14th, 2005, and was just 23 years old.
Oh my god, is that how old you are?
Yeah.
Jesus, imagine being her. Picture it.
In her autopsy, they reported that she had died of dehydration, exhaustion, and lack of oxygen.
Yeah, I'm sure the way that you said her arms were up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That probably made it like hard to breathe when you're like that for 3 fucking days.
That's true.
Oh, that's sad.
But because of the autopsy and how bad she looked, the authorities charged Father Daniel and the nuns who helped him with murder and depriving a person of liberty.
Good.
But yeah, I guess she really, she looked really bad. She had marks all over her. Like, not just, like, from the restraints, but just, like, bruises and stuff all over her body. Shit. I guess she looked, like, really bad. Like,
were they, like, hurting her while she was chained up?
No, they weren't. It's just, 3 days.
So they say.
Yeah, that's true. So they say. But eventually, they were all found guilty and sentenced.
How long?
Father Daniel was sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Okay.
The nuns were sentenced to... The 3 nuns were sentenced to 5 years. And then the mother nun was sentenced to 8 years.
Jeez. Yeah, you don't just tie up people without food or water for days.
Father Daniel denied that it was his fault even after he was found guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, she was sick and possessed. We said several masses to end the spell. From a spiritual point of view, we did exactly the right thing.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, dog.
He also says that she died because the paramedics must have done something to her while she was in the ambulance.
Didn't they call the ambulance because she had no pulse?
Well, yeah, they just couldn't make it. But he also blamed the media, especially for like blowing this situation out of control.
Oh my gosh, they didn't blow it out of control. Somebody literally died.
But yeah, I guess like the community was pretty torn because there was actually like this wasn't his first exorcism. He
Whoa,
actually like
okay.
had done a few before and they were successful. So like he actually had a lot of people like behind him. They didn't believe like that he did it like maliciously.
I feel like maybe it wasn't malicious, but it was definitely neglectful.
That's true. But I feel like
I don't know.
they were just behind him because he had done like the same thing with other people and they were like successful.
Well, they probably didn't have any pre-existing conditions, like this person had leukemia.
True, true. Very possible. But he actually, yeah, he just had a lot of people like, and I guess he like knew, well, not knew his way, but like had helped people get out of like evil spells type thing too.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but it was basically torn in the media. Like there was a, or not media, but like people,
The community.
the community.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Like oh sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I get doing the exorcism and stuff, but you have to keep them hydrated, man. You have to feed them something.
Yeah, you have to feed him. I mean, I think that was his mistake.
Yeah, I think that it was definitely their bad for not feeding her and giving her water and like keeping her arms up, like you said. Like that would probably make it hard to breathe. Maybe they shouldn't have chained her up to a cross. I don't know. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. After the whole ordeal, the church ended up closing the covenant. Like they shut down that
Oh my goodness.
group of nuns, basically.
They're just done with them.
Yeah. And today it is a monastery for men only. No women are allowed there.
They're like, they're crazy bitches. They can't come in here anymore.
Yeah, basically.
That's kind of dumb that they still do that, though.
In 2011, Father Daniel was actually released from prison and supposedly prayed for a blind man to see again, and miraculously he did.
I'm still stuck on how 2006-ish to 2005 to 2011 doesn't feel like 14 years to me.
I don't think it is.
No. Did he cure this blind man inside of prison or outside of prison?
No, outside of prison.
I'm like, these are two different things that I'm like, wait, what?
Like someone came to him.
What the fuck?
Supposedly healed him. But that's what he was like known for, which is why the community was like torn.
Yeah.
And then like half of the community was like behind him and they're like he's a healer, like that type of thing. And then the other side of the community was like, I'm scared to like go see him because of my disability. He's gonna try to like fucking do an exorcism on me or something.
Bro, literally.
So,
yeah, I mean, you could be like, yeah, he was a healer, but he fucked up in the worst possible way and is the reason someone died.
yeah.
They're not, you don't have to exclude them from each other. Be like, he used to be cool, but he took it way too far and cost someone their life.
Facts.
Big facts. I should go talk to this Romanian village and tell them what I think.
In 2014, they actually exhumed Irina's body to basically like re-examine her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was concluded that she actually died from an overdose of adrenaline.
What?
Yeah.
So it was
like, which I guess what it was interesting because like the medical examiner that did it the second time, he was like, it was clearly there in the first report. They just never like focused on it.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like,
Yeah, you were saying 6 doses, and I was like, that sounds kind of insane. But
damn it, I don't think I wrote it down, but it's definitely like a lot.
Yeah, it sounded like a lot.
I think with just one person, like fucking.
Yeah, you just didn't say like you didn't say it in a bad way, so I was like, well, I guess not.
But yeah, after that discovery, that's when like the theories picked up.
Okay.
A lot of theories that the nuns did it on purpose.
Like, did what on purpose?
Like, killed her on purpose.
Oh, but if like, it was the adrenaline.
Here's one
Okay.
theory. Well, just like there was a bunch of theories, but here's one theory is that Irina never intended to be a nun and that she actually taunted the nuns by having outbreaks of obscene anti-homosexual ramblings.
Okay.
And that's like when it all started because it made the nuns believe she was possessed.
Holy shit.
That's one theory.
Oh, so they kind of made it seem like she was possessed just because they didn't like her, basically?
Yeah, that's one theory.
That's fucked up.
There's just I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I don't either. Especially the adrenaline thing. That's kind of weird that nobody noticed it the first time, too.
Yeah. So now I'm like, what is the truth?
I don't know. But that is stressful.
Oh, it's almost over, but not quite.
Oh, okay.
So a BBC reporter, Tatiana Nicolosi, actually wrote a book about Irina, and it inspired a film called Beyond the Hills that came out in 2012.
Okay.
Which
I'm interested.
I didn't watch because
No time.
I've been busy.
Yeah, you work.
Work. But yeah, in 2017, the movie The Crucifixion was also based on the Tenaku exorcism.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. I have tabs open with the other movie, and I'm also going to put The Crucifixion in here, too, to watch it.
I know, I kind of want to watch it. I just haven't gotten there's a lot of movies I want to watch. I haven't gotten around.
Dude, every episode we come up with like 5 more movies we need to watch.
To add it to the list. But yeah, this case continues to haunt those who followed it, and there are also some superstitions around the case.
Oh, okay.
Some sketchy shit happened. So,
of course.
Shortly after the trials ended, the prosecutor, the judge, and the person who handed down the sentence all died in mysterious circumstances.
Whoa, that is fucking weird.
Very.
Holy shit.
So there's like theories out there that Father Daniel like put spells on them or something.
Dang, dude. Probably, especially if it actually ended up not being his fault.
Yeah.
He was still definitely neglectful and definitely should have still gotten in trouble, but if it wasn't murder.
He was, but in Tenaku, many people continue to maintain that she was possessed and that Father Daniel did his best his best to help her.
Dang.
Like, literally someone said, it's not as if they actually killed her. They didn't stab or shoot her. They took her to the hospital alive. That was their argument.
I guess so.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They still didn't give her sustenance for days, though.
True.
I don't know.
But yeah.
That was a good story. Really dark. I like that there were gays.
Thank you.
That's a good one. I read a little bit about that, like on a list of possessions, and it did not make it seem as interesting as you did. Okay. Anything else to add before we end this?
It's been a bad week.
Yes. Brandy had a bunch of stuff stolen too, so
Yes.
bad week.
It was great. It was fabulous. I got my birth certificate stolen, my passport, iPad, AirPods. It was great. It was
Most importantly, the podcast notebook.
Yeah, I had to buy myself a new one. It's just a basic black one.
Doesn't even have a Baby Yoda in sight.
Nope. But it's okay, you know. It's just material things. Well, except my passport and my birth certificate.
Yeah, those are a little necessary.
But everything else, like, I did cry about it when it first
I would
happened.
too.
Just the shock of it, because it happened so quick. Like,
yeah,
you
can tell the story if you want.
Okay,
up to you.
Story time. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, I'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
I had gone last weekend to Mexico, because one of my uncles, he has money. He's a truck driver, and he's like, he doesn't have kids and stuff like that. He's not married, so he has a lot of money, and he likes to spend it on our family.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, it was really chill. But he basically, like, texted all my aunts and, like, my mom and was like, yo, like, let's go to Mexico, to Ensenada. And he's like, so we can like do a carne asada. I'm like, oh, I'll take care of everything basically.
Nice.
And basically everyone was like, yeah, I'm down. Like I have no plans. And I haven't been to Mexico in like a while just because I don't like leaving my wife.
Yeah.
Cause she
Especially
can,
with COVID going on too. You
yeah,
wouldn't
I
want to go
mean
anyway.
that too. I mean, just in general, I never really like going to Mexico just because I feel like it's far, and then usually like the line to come back is a bitch.
Yeah.
But I decided to go. We left Friday, and then one of my aunts like drove down with my grandma, but my grandma was staying, so she asked me to come back with her on Saturday.
Okay. So you
And
just went for one night?
yeah, I was literally just there for one night.
Okay.
But yeah, I did. I agreed to come with her back with her. Because I was like, I feel bad leaving Alaris, so I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just go back with her. But yeah, we were supposed to leave kind of early, like when it was still daylight, because my aunt doesn't like driving at night. Because one, she's scared because there's like cartels fighting in Mexico right now, and
Oh, yeah.
two, she just can't really see at night.
Yeah, no, I also hate driving at night.
I love it. But anyways, we ended up leaving a little later because my uncle. It just took forever to get us all at the restaurant to like eat together before we left.
Okay.
But we like left, and in Ensenada, like to get to there and back up to like by TJ, there's like it's almost like a toll road, like a highway.
Okay.
And there's like 3 checkpoints. Well, between the second checkpoint and the third checkpoint, well, not like a checkpoint, but the toll booth.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
we stopped at like this. It's like a rest stop almost. Like there's bathrooms and like a little like a little market almost, a little shop.
Okay. Nice.
So we stopped because my aunt really needed to go pee, and like I was in the car, and I was like, I might as well go too. So she
Famous
like
last words.
yeah, just I almost left my wallet too, but I
Thank
was
God
like,
you
nah, I'm gonna
did.
take it just in case I want to get something from the store.
Oh my God.
So I got my phone in my wallet. I left my bag by like where my feet were, but I covered it with my jacket because
Oh,
I
you
wasn't
even
wearing my
covered it
jacket.
too?
Yeah, I covered it, and
Did
that's
what
just a
you're supposed
habit
to
I've
do.
always. Yeah, I mean that's just a habit I've always had. Like I always cover my bags just
No,
because.
it's good.
Yeah, I guess not good enough,
I know,
but
supposedly people aren't supposed to notice your stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't
rough.
think they were. They just kind of. It was. I don't know. But
Okay.
anyways, we went to the bathroom. We weren't gone more than like 2 minutes. We came out. We literally parked right in front of the store entrance.
Whoa.
Like literally right in front of the damn camera that they had. But yeah, we went in, we got out, we did like there was nothing suspicious, like I didn't see anything, I didn't hear anything. And then we went into the little store and we got like some little like breads and stuff.
Yeah, some
And
snacks for the road.
yeah, and we're walking like back out to the car and she like hands me the snacks and she's basically like I see her face all confused and I was like, the fuck? And she starts like walking away and she's like, what the fuck? Like I make a round on she's like, they broke my window and I was like, what? And then she just thought like some like kids just fucking like broke her window. But
Uh-huh.
then it just started kind of hitting and she's like, wait, did they take anything? And I'm like, oh fuck. So I open the door and I look. I was like, fuck, my bag is gone.
Oh.
And then I was just kind of like freaking out because we were just kind of shaking, like fuck, like
That's
what do
scary,
we
yeah.
do? Like, yeah, it was scary. Like, it was
Especially you're in like a different country too. You're like,
yeah.
fuck.
Well, like we were pretty far from our family already, and we were pretty far from the border. Like we were literally in the middle.
Oh my God.
So it was just scary, and it was getting dark, and it's like fuck, like what do we do? And then it like hit me, like as I was walking around to her side to like see the damage. There was fucking glass everywhere, all
Oh
over
my
her
God.
seat, like everywhere.
I'm
But
surprised
then
you guys
I
didn't
started
hear it.
freaking out because I was like, fuck, dude, like my shit was in there. I was like, my birth certificate, my fucking passport. Like, how am I?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I started panicking. I'm like, what if they don't let me go back home? Oh no, like, what are we gonna do? And so, yeah, I was just freaking out. And my aunt called my mom first because she's like, obviously, I'm I mean, I'm an adult, but she had her child, so
She's older.
true. But yeah, they called my mom and stuff, and they obviously didn't really know what to do. But my uncle, the one that has money, he actually has a lot of friends, and he called some of his friends, and they got there like pretty fast.
Oh dang, okay. Baller uncle coming through.
Yeah, literally. They got there like right before the cops did, and they like basically helped clean the glass off the
Aw.
window, and just so my aunt could drive, because she was like scared that the pieces of glass were gonna fly in her face since
Oh my gosh,
and
yeah.
yeah, have no protection. So they like cleaned it for her.
That's
But
so
yeah,
nice that they would just do that for like their friend's relative.
yeah, like it was pretty badass. But I basically was like crying on the phone with my mom because I was just like bummed out, and I was
Yeah.
just trying to like think of everything I had in there.
Just making yourself more sad.
Yeah, basically, like literally, I was like, no, my AirPods, my iPad. Oh,
Oh.
damn, the brand new phone charger I bought myself. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
what else did I think about? Oh, I had some like credit cards in there, so I was like, fuck, I have to fucking cancel those.
Oh my god. Did you cancel them in time?
Yeah, I did. I actually
Okay,
had a
good.
nurse help me. Like, I sent her my like login info and like had her do it for me because I was just
Freaking
like,
out.
yeah, I was just freaking out. Like, my
Yep.
anxiety was like so bad. We were literally like shaking.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's scary too, just to think that somebody would do that. Like, and you're in front of the store. It's like,
Mhm.
damn, dude, the nerve of them.
Yeah, we were just pretty shaken, and my aunt like thought about like driving after them because she says she saw someone like running away or drive away.
No, do not ever.
And she said like no, because what if they have a gun? And then also like she couldn't like fucking sit down because there was glass everywhere.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I'd mostly just be like, what if they had a weapon? And be like, nothing is worth dying.
Definitely not. But yeah, and then it just like the longer we were on the road, I just kept remembering like more shit I had, like
Oh no.
my podcast notebook, my fucking car keys with my house keys. And
Oof.
then also I remembered I had a pay stub, so they like have my address too. So I'm like fucking scared,
Oh.
if they can cross that they'll come and like break in or steal a car.
Ugh, creepy.
But yeah, the cops were no help, obviously. The whole
Did you?
corruption shit.
Yeah.
I also tried to call the cops like over here the
Mm-hmm.
next day and was like, yo, like, can I report my shit stolen? And they were like, no, because it happened in Mexico.
Fucking stupid.
And I was like, dude, you can't even like write it down somewhere and like,
Can't
flag
just
my name or
pretend.
some shit. And they were like, no, sorry. She's like, just keep an eye on your account. And if something happens, you can call us back and like file a report for identity theft. And I was like, oh, cool. So I gotta do it after the fact? She was like,
We can't
yeah.
prevent it, but
I was like, cool.
what if they were like Americans though? And just also happen to, because the Ensenada, like a lot of people go there from San Diego.
That's true. I mean, it's possible, but I was just thinking the worst,
Of course.
I was like, what if they try to like open credit cards in my name type shit? Like, I don't know, it's
I know they have your birth certificate. That's scary.
scary. Yeah.
Yikes.
I know, and I was just kind of beating myself up about it. Like, fuck, dude. Like, you should have taken your bag down with you.
No, you did what you're supposed to. You're supposed to cover it. And they fucking broke a window. I don't think. Even if they didn't see your bag, they probably actually would have broken the window just to see what was in there.
Yeah. And that's when my aunt, because she had like what are they called? Like a sewing machine, which is, they're worth a lot.
Yeah, they are expensive.
And the specific brand, she like found it somewhere for really cheap. And it was just like missing a part or like something was wrong, and so that's why she took it to Mexico to get it fixed. And it was like
Aww.
in Mexico, like it's a easy fix and cheaper than like trying to get it fixed over here.
Yeah, of course.
But that was still there, so she was like, we obviously didn't give them enough time to like look more into the car.
Oh, so did they steal anything of hers, or just like your bag in the front?
No, just my bag.
Oh, Brandy.
Yeah, literally. So that's why I was like beating myself up. I was like, fuck, dude, I should have taken my bag down. I should have.
Oh man.
Then it would have just been a broken window,
Yeah.
But I would have had my shit safe with me. So I am kind of still bummed about that. Like, fuck,
Of course. Also, It is kind of funny to think about. They're going to open up your notebook and see all these stories about murder and be like, what the fuck was this person into?
Dude, for real. And I had so much random shit in my bag too. I had like fucking like 10 pens, like pencils, a sharpener, my podcast note. I had a little notebook, like a hard book.
Uh-huh.
And it was just a bunch of like, it's probably fucking nonsense to them, but it was basically like for work. Like I would put all like our info in there. Like,
they're like, what is this shit?
Yeah, they're probably like, what the fuck? But yeah.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
It's alright. I'll live. I had a bunch of my masks in there.
Those add up.
Yeah.
Now you're doing the same thing, remembering everything. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. Alright. Well, yeah, that was my horrible weekend. And then during the week, my wife's car got towed, so that's like more money down the drain.
Back to back, man.
Yeah, but you know, trying to stay positive. This is just a little dip in my long roller coaster.
That sounded sadder, Brandy.
Sorry.
Because you just said it's all a roller coaster.
It is. Life is a roller coaster. It's full of ups and downs.
I guess so. This was just the littlest dip.
It feels like a big dip, but we'll see.
Yeah, it was a pretty big dip.
I'm gaining
honestly.
speed for a big
up.
A big up.
Or what? I don't know what to call it. A big up. Alrighty. If you guys want to email us, you can at thespookyshit.pod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at spookyshit_pod. And check out our website at spookyshit-pod. We have merch on Teespring. If you go to anywhere, actually, we have links to that if you want to check it out. And if you want to leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts, that'd be greatly appreciated, or tell people to listen to us. And yeah, I made the outro longer than normal because why not? Thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.